Welcome back aboard Stargazer. This week I started changing the cockpit. I wanted to shorten the seats to just make more foot room and more room for the rope storage. After spending some time thinking about it, I decided the center of the helm post would be a good spot to end the seat. So I laid it all out, looked at it, thought about it, rethought about it, and then went for it. Aside from shortening the seat, I also wanted to cut down into the face of it, just to make the opening a little bigger. It's kind of tight, so cutting down will widen it by a little bit. Every inch counts. I cut it down this far, but I think I might go a little lower in the end. I'm not really sure yet. There's also a couple other things I'm going to change. I'm worried about the water puddling in the back. It all does slope towards the cabin, but if it's sitting to one side for too long in the rain, it could potentially leak into the seats. So I'm going to change how they drain out a little bit while this is all apart too. I've sort of been procrastinating doing this. I really wanted to make sure it was what I wanted the second time around. I don't want to have to do it a third time. But sometimes you do things and then you decide that you were wrong and that there's a better way. That's alright. It's all part of the learning process. In the end, it's only a little extra time. In the big scheme of the project, it's not really that big of a deal. While I had the seats apart, I really wanted to get all this sanded out underneath. I should have done it right from the get-go, but at the time, I didn't have the tools with me, and it was exposed in the weather, and I just wanted to get stuff put together, I guess. I knew eventually I'd have to crawl around in here. I wasn't looking forward to it, but it really wasn't that bad. I'm not sure why I even put these hoses back on. I have no idea. I guess I didn't have the tent built when I built the cockpit, and it seemed that I guess putting it back together was the only logical place to store stuff. But it's about time I took all this off so I could sand around it. I also dropped the rudder post. I wanted to inspect it all and check the bushings and tolerances and make sure everything's good. That's a little heavy for one hand. I started trying to clean everything up as I took it out of the boat. That way, whenever it goes to the install of everything, it's all clean and all ready. And that way I'm not making dirt later on. Get it all dealt with now, then I can get it cleaned up and not have to worry about it anymore. And then began laying out the other side. I don't mean to bore you with all this repetitive footage, but I just really want to show what it actually takes. If you're considering a boat, it all takes time. It's not like working on anything else. I've built a lot of houses and a lot of different things in my lifetime, but there's something different about a boat. It's just not easy. Everything's a little more complicated. It probably doesn't help that I've never really sailed before. I mean, I've been on a few boats for a couple days here and there, but that's it. I'm just kind of building things to what I think would work from what I know. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine in the end. It really helps having the right tools for the job. I couldn't imagine trying to do this without tools. So if you're gonna get a boat, make sure you consider that as one of the major expenses. Either that, or you're gonna spend all your time trying to borrow tools or find someone else with tools, or you just can't work efficiently. You just end up driving yourself crazy, I think. It sucks not having the right thing for the right job. It's also time consuming already, and you could spend a lot of extra time if you don't have the proper tools to do the job. Taking this all apart kind of reassured me that what I was doing was working up till now. It was pretty hard. It was pretty well put together, I guess. It was never intended to come apart, but it is. I find trying to film this kind of challenging sometimes. It's hard to set up the camera, it's hard to get good angles, it's hard to get good lighting. I enjoy it. I like watching it and looking back at what I did, because sometimes I feel like it takes a long time, but then I realize what it actually took to do something, rewatching it all. It kind of makes me feel a little better about how long it is taking, I guess. The sander still amazes me so much. It's so nice not having the amount of dust as you typically would without a vacuum on it. That's one thing I recommend getting. If you're gonna attempt something like this, at least get some sort of sander with a vacuum, because if not, you're just gonna spend all your time cleaning up and itching yourself. I'm lucky enough that the fiberglass doesn't really affect my skin, but some people can be really irritated by it. There are some places you just can't get at with the other sander though. So for that, I use this. It works quick, but it's pretty messy. That's about all I have time for this week. If you want to follow the project and keep an eye on how things go, then subscribe. Click the like button and follow along.